What is going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to Season 4, Episode 8 of Clips and Dip. I am Chuck Buckler, joined by Adam Osland, and a wonderful new background from Eric Bui. Thank you so much, Eric. If you can't see the full thing, we'll share it out. Everyone can use it for whatever they want. William Updike is at the theater. He is getting cultured after watching the Clippers game last night. I don't blame him. We are Clips and Dip. Thank you for hanging out. If you want to watch us, you can find us at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. Today, we're going to be talking the 3 and 4 start, as well as previewing the incredibly shorthanded Clippers against the kind of shorthanded Suns. They're getting Jalen Green back. Dylan Brooks will be out. We'll get to all that. Adam, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay. A little bit frustrated with this slow start by the Clippers once again this season, but these are the cards that we've been dealt. They got to make the most of it and somehow find a way to win the next 2 games against Phoenix.
Yeah, they do have kind of, it's not a back-to-back, but it's a away and a home against the Suns with a day in between. The Clippers sit at 3-4. They remain banged up. Kawhi has an ankle injury. He is out for the game against the Suns on the 6th. Not ideal. I thought Beal looked good against the Thunder, or not against the Thunder, his game on Monday. I thought the activity was nice, but now we have Kawhi out, which is not ideal.
No, Kawhi and Beal missing last game, and this Clippers team without James Harden as well tomorrow for personal reasons. So I tweeted this out a little bit earlier, but we're about to see what Chris Paul has left, and I know he's been struggling so far this season, but that's been strange to me because he was moving so well in the preseason. It makes me want to believe that he's just processing the speed of the game that everybody's playing at right now in the regular season, and guys are moving really fast out there. And
Whoa,
I
they're
think,
so fat. Yeah.
well, the fastest pace since like the 70s.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing at. And hopefully, physically, he still has enough left to help this team. But he and Bogey are going to be big for the game coming up tomorrow.
We will need them for sure. Turnovers are destroying. No real transition for this. Turnovers are destroying anything that this Clippers team can build right now. I think this is from Justin Russo. Last night against the Thunder was the 3rd time in 7 games that the Clippers have allowed 30-plus points off turnovers. The rest of the NBA has done that a combined 5 times. It is not ideal.
Especially considering all the off-season talk and the T-shirts and get the F back. But Coach Lou kind of pointed out that, post-game, we just can't turn it over because we're too old to be able to get back and stop some of these transition points. And they have not been sound with the basketball, and that's really disappointing so far, considering last season when they started off the year slow and they were turning the basketball over, well, they had to run everything through James Harden.
Right.
But when Kawhi came back, the turnovers were cut down to like 13 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And Kawhi's been there for 6 of the 7 games, and they're still having him right now. That's what I worry about.
I worry about it too, and the nature of them. Live ball turnovers, those are one thing. Sometimes it's been some ill-advised passes by whoever has the ball, and then they're turning the ball over on inbounds plays. Like we're like there's some things like when Ty. I know people have Ty Lue's in the hot seat after 7 games, and I know people kind of laughed when he was like, "We just need to pass it to the open guy." I think when it comes to inbounds plays, I'm with Ty Lue on this one. Like there's no amount of coaching to tell whoever's inbounding the ball, hey, don't throw it. You know what I mean? Like in that particular instance, the guy's got to lock in.
I very much do not put turnovers on the coaching staff. I've been screaming about this the last week or so. It's like, guys, they don't come out with a game plan to turn the basketball over. This is on the players.
Everybody
and I do think,
spray your hand with the Pam cooking spray before we get out there.
Yeah, and now everyone's back to Zubac can't hold on to the ball. I do think there's something to teams playing so fast this season, and for an older team like this, it could be jarring, and everybody's picking them up. And we saw it. It really started that fourth quarter last season of that game against the Golden State Warriors, where they picked them up full court. They got into them, they pressed them, and they had 12 turnovers in that fourth quarter. And other teams picked up on that. And now, with everyone doing that more, anyways, game to game, well, it's more of a focal point when you're taking on a team that really struggles in that area with the Clippers.
Yeah, and I mean, other than just turnovers being advantageous in general, if you're the other team in the NBA, like you said, once the ball is turned over, that's a transition opportunity. And the Clippers constantly find themselves on the wrong end of that through various reasons, age. It's just like we knew it's not a surprise if you kind of followed this team in the offseason. A lot of people are like, well, transition defense is probably going to be kind of an issue based on their age. It's just so much harder when they make it more difficult on themselves with not focusing or whatever other word we can use for some of these turnovers.
Yeah, and it could be early season chemistry issues, just getting up to speed and trying to mesh with whatever guys are available each night right now. There's a lot of different variables you can look at, but bottom line is they have to clean it up to some degree. We're talking 13 or less. That should be the number. And they had 0 in the first quarter against OKC, and it's no surprise that they got up by 13. Okay, maybe it was a little bit of a surprise. They were
A
playing
little
great
bit of a surprise
defensively.
there.
No surprise it was their best quarter when they didn't turn the ball over at all, and then had 8 turnovers in the second quarter. And we're up by 1 at the half. I think had 5 or 6 more in the third, and then the game got away from them pretty quickly with a 17-0 run by OKC.
Yeah, they finished with 18 or 19 that game, again, after the scoreless first quarter for turnovers. I think that's probably been my biggest frustration with the team, because it is such a frustrating problem too from a fan perspective, because you're like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like all you can say is they just have to pay more attention and fix it. Like, there's no drills at this point to be like, throw it like this, like I can see why people are frustrated.
Part of it is age, and part of it is the way the game's being played. Teams are pressuring more. The ball pressure, they're not giving you much airspace. They are trying to get more possessions out there. So it is something that the league is leaning into that is in particularly a weakness for this Clippers team, or in particular a real weakness for this Clippers team that everybody's trying to get better at, not just to screw the Clippers, but it just so happens that
It's to
it's
screw the
something the
Clippers.
Clippers struggled with. I don't know. Ask Pablo.
I feel I'm not coming within 100 feet of Pablo. It is funny too, kind of to your point. Remember how much they'd struggle against the Raptors last year? A young team that's built on running and possession and possession and possession. And it was like, okay, great. Like, we're seeing what this is going to become. And it's out, the Grizzlies are trying to do it to some extent with varying degrees of success over there with their personnel. But yeah, I love that point of like, this is what the league is kind of harshly transitioning towards more of.
It's directly aimed at the Clippers' weaknesses. It's like bringing in the second apron and hurting them by taking away
Something to
their
think
spending
about.
power. No, but it's unfortunate that it's trending in a direction that definitely does not help the Clippers due to their age, and the age specifically of their ball handlers and point guards out there. So they have to be more in tune with it. They have to adjust themselves and just be better. And the hope is that you've had some real hard lessons in teams that are some of the best at turning you over already. And maybe that will make them better as they go along here, because they've been put through some real drills here when it comes to having to figure out ways to hold on to the basketball and get better.
What I'm hearing is the Clippers need to not only eliminate the aprons and the salary cap, we also need to eliminate the shot clock. We need to be like those 6 states that don't use the shot clock on high school basketball anymore, or something like that. And we'll be fine. Let's talk to starters a little bit. I was looking at some lineups and a glaring issue, kind of tying together the turnovers and transition defense. Harden, Beal, Kawhi, Derek Jones, and Zoo have played 63 minutes together, the most of any lineup so far this season, as of when I looked this up earlier today. They're shooting 58% from the floor, 44% from three. However, 3-2 assist to turnover ratio, 121 offensive rating, 132 defensive rating for the starting five right now, which is not good.
Offensive rating's good.
Oh,
Defensive
love
rating's
the
miserable.
offensive rating.
Well, I mean, there are like the plus here, the thing they're chasing is, okay, how do we figure out to get this group to start games faster? Because Coach Lou brought this up, I think, before the Heat game, actually, saying that within the first 7 minutes, they're the worst defense in the league. And then after that, they're one of the best the rest of the ball game.
Right.
And so they're getting off to these slow starts. And we saw it against the Miami Heat down 12-2. He stuck with the starting lineup. One of the questions that I thought about asking him last night was how close he was to making a change to the starting lineup after the first time out when they were down 12-2. But he stuck with it, and they went on a 16-3 run when they came back in. So they just look like they're not ready to play to start games. And I don't know if that is an age thing, a bad habit thing that goes back years.
Because they were doing it last year.
Different factors.
Like they were ready last year, right? Like
they were definitely better.
Class.
They had I think their net rating in first quarters was 13 last year. They were 13th. So they weren't amazing, but they were much better than this. And defensively, I think they were like 8th on that end to start games. Yeah, and I was looking through some of the defensive rating stuff, I think, late last night, and
never a good idea to be looking at defensive rating stuff late at night.
Well, in particular, the quarters, and you look at first quarter, and I think they're bottom 3 in defensive rating. They're 26 there. But it's not like it gets that much better, drastically better. Second quarter is they're, let's see here. This is coming in after last night, 22nd. So it's not like they go from, a bottom 5 defensive rating in the first quarter to being a top 5 defensive rating in the second or the third quarter. Third quarter, they're still 22nd. Fourth quarter, though, they were better. And let's see what they are now. 16th. I think coming into last night's game, which you can kind of, that skewed the numbers. I think they were top 10 in the fourth quarter, which tells me that maybe some of it is like, they are just not in tune to start ball games, and they eventually start to tighten the screws a little bit defensively by the end of the game. Maybe. Because that was their best and is their best defensive rating, the fourth quarter. But I worry about, we talked about this coming into the season. The biggest concern was Bradley Beal being on a minutes restriction and being banged up to start the year, to where he plays the first 2 games, but then gets hurt in a different way with the lower back injury.
Right.
And we'll see if he's still on a minutes restriction or how long of a minutes restriction tomorrow, because they're going to need him more than usual against his former team in Phoenix without Kawhi, without James Harden. Is he still on a 20 minutes restriction after not playing the back-to-back, not playing against OKC? I don't know, but it's another season where it's a team that is limping out of the gates to start, where they don't have everybody fully healthy, to where you can test out different lineups and really get a decent sample size and understanding of what you have to work with. Tuca or Shadow got me this time because
if you want to see Adam's cats, you can watch us at YouTube. I love that it's on your desk. That's awesome. YouTube.com/@ClippersPodcast. Watch Adam's cats. Maybe a little bit.
Coach Lou said last night, Joey Lynn asked him, I think the second question post game was about the progress you're making when it comes to evaluating lineups.
Yeah.
And he basically said, like, well, we haven't really gotten there because Bradley Beal's on a minutes restriction and now Kawhi's out of game. So now it kicks the can down the road. It sets them back from being able to say, hey, here's a clean 10-game sample size. This is what you have to work with. And it gives you a built-in excuse And I'm not saying they're making it. It is fair to say they haven't really gotten a fair shake with this group because of all these different factors, but it means you're pushing back, making adjustments to a later date. And therefore, let's say, regardless of if guys were healthier on a minutes restriction, this lineup just wasn't going to work,
Right.
even if they were everybody healthy and in ideal spots. Well, we're going to take longer to figure that out now because it sounds like they're going to take their time
10 to
and
15
really
games.
be patient.
Yeah, he said 10 to 15 games and the rotation will be cut down from 10 to 9, which I don't, and I mean this in a, that would be great if that were possible, but I don't think right now we're going to see that within 10 to 15 games just because we got, and this was before the Kawhi ankle. So like it, and you can't, I know people want to just plug in a guy for a game and see how it goes, right? Like, why isn't John Collins starting? That's a thing we've heard a bunch. And it's like, hey, I get the frustration, but like you said, we haven't even had the fully healthy starting lineup for more than 4 games or whatever it is. Like, you can't put the cart in front of the horse when the horse is not even shoed yet, or whatever metaphor I'm trying to say here. That was actually pretty good. But like, that was not bad.
You got to put the bit in the horse's mouth.
Yeah, you can't put the cart before the
Are your
horse.
Spurs even on?
Yeah, the players are the Spurs. The backups are the cart. But you know what I mean? It's just, it's roster crunch. It, like, we would learn, and this isn't to take anything away from how great of a start to the season John Collins has had, because not a single Clippers fan is upset with John Collins and what he's done so far. Starting him for a game and being like, well, that was pretty good, with a bunch, with, when guys who aren't going to be starting are in that lineup, means nothing in the grand scheme of the team's success right now.
Yeah, but to your point of, well, it was going to be 10 to 15 games, but now that they haven't gotten a healthy sample size of these guys, is it going to be 15 to 25 games to figure this out? How long is it going to take to get there? When does the sense of urgency kick in?
Yeah.
That was something that Tomer Azarli kind of asked Coach Lou pregame. Can you afford to experiment and go through this process because of the Western Conference? And Coach Lou made it clear there, and I thought this was big, that Bradley Beal is a starter for us.
Yeah.
He didn't equivocate. That is seemingly set in stone. So Bradley Beal's not going anywhere. So for everybody that's like, we want Dunn and Collins in the starting lineup, take out DJ, take out Bradley Beal. Looks like at best there's only one spot available, and that's DJ's. And to be fair, DJ's been really damn good to start this season. This is not on him.
DJ and Collins have been like the two most consistent players.
Yeah, and James, aside from the turnovers, have been their best players, but been their best player. Yeah, those two have been great. So how do you come to DJ and be like, hey, I'm sorry, we got to take you out, even though you're off to the best start maybe of your career in a season, and it looks like he's knocking down threes at a higher rate. We'll see how that holds up. He's slashing, getting to the basket. I really like what we've seen from him. But does it work long term, and how much time do they have to figure this out? It's another game tomorrow where they're not going to be able to get much data at all when it comes to the starting lineup. What they go with tomorrow could be a one-off type of game, just like it was against OKC.
And maybe Saturday too, right? Like it's not a back-to-back, but there's only one day off.
When Kawhi came, when that Kawhi news came out that he was going to miss the game yesterday, I was still hopeful that, okay, but this is a back-to-back, so maybe he was going to miss it anyways. And now that he's not missing the game against the Suns, where they have a day off in between, and now he's had a couple of days off, that first game against them on Thursday, that leads me to think it's a little bit more concerning, at least, that he's out for another game. Because I could make the argument that he probably shouldn't be playing back-to-backs anyways, regardless of the ankle tweak.
Could not agree more with that.
We said that back in 2024 when his knee swelled up out of nowhere at the end of the season. I said then, I don't think he should play back-to-back the rest of his career with how injury-prone he has been.
Absolutely not.
you could have thought, well, they're just being overly cautious, and maybe it gives them an excuse not to play him on a back-to-back because he tweaked the ankle late in the game against the Miami Heat. But that doesn't seem like it's the case, because now he's missing the next game.
And Ty Lue initially, when asked about it, and this, I'm not saying this is a concrete diagnosis, his phrasing was, "We're going to know in a couple of days." So it was like, that to me was like, oh, he's missing one for sure. Because that's the nature of the. What does Law Murray say? The nice thing about the NBA is you always have a chance to bounce back very quickly from your last performance. That to me was like, oh, so it's at least, yeah. I hope he plays on Saturday.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
this
great.
Is just one of them will start 7-3 at worst with this schedule. This may be the easiest 10-game stretch of the season, and like, they're blowing it. They are. Got to be honest about it. Like, they could have a 25-6 stretch or something like that coming up, but because of this, it could still cost them a top 3 seed.
Well, look at last year. They went 14-3, 15-2 over the last 17.
18-3 the last 21.
Yeah, to not be playing.
Yeah, they had to win that final game against Golden State, the play-in to stay out of the play-in, pseudo playoff type of game. So I
play in off.
Yeah, this is significant to me. I think the Clippers' mindset is still, as long as we're healthy by the time the playoffs start and we're not in the play-in, we'll be fine no matter who we play.
That is certainly
love it or hate it. That could be
where we are.
That's what it's felt like in the past, and I don't see that changing with the way things are going right now.
Yeah. I felt, we're going to get into the game preview in just a few, but we love Zubac on this podcast. We've championed him. Even before we started this podcast, all three of us have been Zoo heads. Someone made a very funny joke on Twitter. I was like, oh, Zoo's touch looks a little rough to start the season around the basket. And someone said, yeah, it must have been that 10 pounds he lost. He said his touch must have weighed 10 pounds. Very funny joke. Very well played. But what's going on? Is that just a rhythm thing? Is like, he's not an old guy who needs to start. He didn't play as much summer basketball because Croatia, for the first time in their history, didn't qualify for the Eurobasket. And he has played a lot better after the Eurobasket summers. But I hope he gets into gear soon, man, because we love him as a safety valve. But if it's not as sharp as it usually is when they're in the current kind of run of form they are, it's a little more glaring. And he gets the unfair criticisms of he sucks now or whatever.
Last night was the first game in a while where I put blame on Ivica Zubac because they actually did try to feature him starting the third quarter. He got a hook shot. They kept trying to go to him. Some of it ended in turnovers by him or just missed shots. Now, he was not nearly good enough against OKC, and I think their only chance of winning that game was somebody else had to get it going because you had James Harden in the first quarter, Collins in the second quarter. Who's going to be the next guy to help out in the group project to try to keep them afloat?
And that OKC defense annoys Zoo.
Yeah, and they're still the best defense right now in the league by like 4 points per 100 possessions. They've been elite, and that's why they're undefeated, because actually the first 6 games of the season they were the worst shooting 3-point team in the West the first 6 games.
Their
and they went
rating was like 21.
Yeah. They went off against the Pelicans, and then they obviously shot well against us last night. I think almost like, what was it, 48% or something from 3. But their defense kept them in it. The Clippers, meanwhile, is the opposite of that. Their defense last season kept them in it, and right now it's like 20th. But Ivica Zubac, like, that was a big opportunity for him, and he was not nearly good enough and deserves criticism for that performance. I don't say that very often with Ivica Zubac because most of the time it's everybody else not getting him involved enough. Now, maybe when you bring up rhythm and timing, like, he's been in single-digit shot attempts the last 3 games. 7 shots against the Pelicans, 9 against Miami, 3 last night. 8 last night, made 3 of them. Last night I will put on him because they were trying to get him the basketball. He wasn't forceful enough. He had turnovers. But the 2 games prior, I was still like, what are we doing here? Are we going to get Ivica Zubac a little bit more involved? So did that hurt his timing coming into a game where he would have more usage out there last night? I don't know, but he still has had a 21-point game against Portland with 8 boards. He had 19. Granted, a lot of that came after Utah was already up big in game 1. There's nothing wrong with his movement. There's nothing wrong with he hasn't forgotten
He's
how to shoot
healthy.
right-handed and left-handed hook shots. He's just as skilled as ever. It's just a slow start for maybe a variety of reasons.
I want to talk about Chris Dunn and some of the depth in a sec, but Tomer Azarli, wonderful beat reporter, just posted a 20-minute supercut on Twitter of, for those of you complaining about Ty Lue and the coaching staff, here are the Clippers' 126 turnovers through 7 games this season. Please tell me which ones the coaching staff could have helped with or prevented. Holy shit, Tomer. Hell yeah. That's hilarious. What a lunatic supercut to make. I love that.
It's facts. I've been screaming about this. People in the chat going off about this is on the coaching staff, and it's like, what? These careless turnovers are on them? I'm very happy he did this. That is great work.
That's so funny. All right. Depth wise, John Collins, I mean, no notes. What a wonderful start to the season. Chris Dunn, your guy, your defensive identity guy. They got to find more minutes for him. Ty Lue's talked about it. God, is there such a big difference when he is on the floor. And this is a credit to how good he is as well. Like I don't know what, anyway, contract-wise, the man should be paid more money, but it's a weird problem.
Some people were thanking God that he wasn't in the starting lineup to start off this season. Now we're asking for him back in. Like
I'm not formally asking for him back in.
Well, you may get there eventually. I think Chris Dunn there is a different spirit and energy when he's out there on the floor defensively.
Yep.
And I haven't checked the numbers and all the lineup data when he's out there and how their defense looks. I probably should, but it's still, I feel like not even checking these things or carrying that much till 10 games typically.
Totally.
Because it's one game swings things so quickly with the numbers. But against Phoenix, they're down 10 in the first quarter. He comes in, has 2 steals right away, completely changed the trajectory of that game to get them their first win. Against Miami, same thing in the second half, where it looked like it was getting away from them. They eventually lost, and he played 12 straight minutes, and Coach Lue took him out maybe around the 4 or 5 minute mark of the fourth quarter. But from the end of the third to the start of the fourth, where he had an inbound steal to start the fourth for a layup, it's just so plainly obvious how good he is and how inspiring he is defensively for this team. But again, what are you going to do? DJ's played well. You're going to take him out for Chris Dunn to start right now, 7 games in? Obviously, Chris Dunn got to start last night out of necessity because they're missing Kawhi, they're missing Bradley Beal. But I think they are overly reliant on him and his competitiveness out there on the court, because a guy who probably shouldn't have to play much more than 25 minutes, like, you shouldn't have to look to him. Like, if your identity, and that's why I asked Coach Lue pregame, because last season he said so many times we have to play like he does. We have to play like Chris Dunn. And their identity might be too wrapped up. And they followed his lead, and he started a ton of games last season. I don't know what it came out to, but are they missing that? Do they not recognize themselves to start games because Chris Dunn isn't out there after he started so many last year? I don't know.
It's kind of like how Batum was such a nice starter. So I was just looking at just NBA Fantasy Labs on-off individual net rating differences with Chris Dunn. Every single player who plays meaningful minutes so far has a negative net rating when Chris Dunn is off the court. Bogey's +3. Chris Paul and Brook Lopez are +17, but those lineups, which we'll talk about them in a second, is not good either. But like when he's off the court, it seems like most of the regular guys aren't playing as well. I've liked that Bogey looked more confident versus the Thunder, which I think opens things up for the Clippers now that he's had some more time to get back. He made a great feed to Zoo, kind of he like drove and like jumped, made the decision, hit Zoo. So like I liked he's kind of, if he has another good game, which we'll need him to have against the Suns, I think Bogey can be put on the upswing category of Clips.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, find too many silver linings in a game they lost by 19,
Sure.
but
There's not a lot.
They probably maximized, I don't know, their talent they had available in that game for the most part, just being up at the half. And really, it was tight till the last 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah.
But Bogey came out and hit a three right away, just green light. I'm shooting this thing, just let it fly. That was good to see. And he brought it into the front court a lot for James Harden to get him off ball, to not make it as taxing. And he did so pretty successfully. So both those things were really good to see. More aggressive offensively. Boy, are they going to need him tomorrow. They're going to have get a big game from him if they're going to have a chance against Phoenix.
Last pairing, and then we'll get into the preview. I was looking at the two-man lineup data with Chris Paul and Brook Lopez. They have played 71 minutes together, minus 20 net rating. Lopez can hit the three. We've seen that. If he's not doing that, it's just harder. I'm not, there's no, again, 7 games in, I'm assuming this will get better. There's no tangible solutions right now. Even someone was tweeting at us that Giannis should get some run, and I was like, okay, well, let's not make that switch yet.
I think people have reduced Brook Lopez to just, well, if he's not hitting threes, what is he doing? He's still a good rim protector. Did you see the 2 blocks he had in Shaedon Sharpe in the Portland game? Right. He still is defending the rim. That second unit just hasn't come together. If Harden or Kawhi aren't out there with that second unit, they have been getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's been brutal, especially because they looked so good in the preseason. And I guess you got to throw out everything you see in the preseason because none of it is translated for this Clippers team.
And vets, it makes sense that a team of vets would crush the preseason. You know what I'm saying? It's like they've done this, some of them, 20 times. So they know what guys are trying to do. But yeah, it's and again, 7 games. I'm not saying I'm not concerned, but I'm also not willing to say let's give Giannis some burn and let's change a starting lineup. That it's fair to be frustrated that we haven't seen them all healthy, but the way to fix that is not wholesale changes.
Yeah, a lot of this is guys playing better, valuing the basketball, not being as careless with it. Check out the Tomer mix.
Dude, it's so
how
long do you think that took him? Sorry.
You could sort through it. Yeah, it took some time. That's good work. But I'm not giving up on Brook Lopez because he at least went 4-4 from 3 last night. I think after going 3 for his last 17 or something like that from 3, the 4 games prior. So he needs that shot. He needs that confidence. But there is something to, okay, if the league is playing faster, your backup center is going to be asked to do more as well when it comes to playing against up-tempo teams. I'm not saying everybody's like the Indiana Pacers when they were whole with Tyrese Halliburton in the first round series. Right. I'm not going to put a ton into that because they were able to play Brook off the court at times. It's like, yeah, they could do that to a lot of centers with how good Indiana was playing.
Win the finals. Yeah.
Tyrese doesn't do his Achilles in game 7. They might be champions. So you just can't. There are certain guys that you have to have faith in and confidence in their body of work and say, and not just body of work, just look at last season or the last 2 years. Him and CP3, the reason I'm not giving up on Chris Paul is because I just saw him play 82 games. Now, sometimes it can go really quick for older guys, but I'm not willing to say that after 7 games, nor am I able to say that for Brook Lopez, who played 79 games, I think, last season and played 30 minutes a game for Milwaukee.
I might say it after 15 games for Chris Paul specifically, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, if we are, then they got real issues. Hopefully Bogey's playing well because yeah, they need one of these guys to be good this season to at least be adequate at that position.
Yeah. And this is also a reminder of when before the season started, when people were like, let's make a move. We got enough depth. Like, this is why you have that enough depth, because shit happens, for lack of a better term, right? Like, you can never have enough depth. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like,
I really think a lot of it is guys being a little bit shell shocked with how fast the league is getting. That has happened seemingly overnight. Like the fastest team last season was playing at 103 pace.
was that
Now
the Raptors?
there's a few teams at 106. I can't remember, but now there's like 10 teams playing at 103 or faster right now. So then even the lower teams are playing a little bit faster than they were last season. And I'm hoping this is going to slow down. I don't see it carrying throughout the entire 82 game season this way. Right. But for the Clippers' sake, they could use a little bit of regression with the pace that's going on in this league. Oh, and by the way, like OKC came into last night's game, I think, bottom 8 in pace. Not like they were playing at the fastest pace, but selectively, when you turn the basketball over, they can get out and run real quick and make you pay.
Yeah. So last year, the top 5 paces, Grizzlies 103.7, Bulls 103.6, Hawks 103.4, Wizards 102, Oklahoma City Thunder 101, basically.
So there's one great team in there.
Right. Yeah, great call. And this year you have, the Bulls are obviously the best team in the NBA this year. If you want to let's revisit both teams' records in 12 games to see where we're at. Yeah, Heat 106 pace, Wizards 105, Blazers 105, Mavs 104, Grizzlies 103, Hornets 103. Yeah, like it's a way also for teams that don't have very good outside shooting to compensate.
So they played 2 of those teams in the Heat and Blazers. They beat one. They probably should have beat the other if it's not for all the turnovers leading to 37 points. I don't think they're that far away from getting this thing to click in. When they're healthy is the caveat. The problem is they ain't going to be tomorrow. Are they going to be on Saturday? I don't know. So you talk about cleaning up the turnovers, and Coach Lou mentioned pregame that they're the 4th best offense in the league when they don't turn it over. Well, we're still not getting a good look at who this Clippers team can be in a game tomorrow because it's not the usual guys. So can they really build off of that? Even if they win, what does it mean long term?
Right. What is the takeaway? We're going to talk about Clippers versus Suns coming up after this quick audio break. If you're listening to us, if you want to watch us and not have to deal with the audio breaks, find us at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. Suns preview ×2, kind of, because they play on Thursday and Saturday. Coming up after these ads in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back in. It's Clips and Dip. He's Chuck Mockler. I'm Adam Osland. It is episode 8, 9?
8.
Season 4?
Maybe
8
9.
of season 4. Maybe 9. Good to be with you guys. Clippers are 3 and 4. Not great in that department.
It's
currently.
Episode 9. That's my bad.
Episode 9. Clippers have a home and home against Phoenix starting tomorrow in Phoenix and then into a dome on Saturday night. All right, Chuck. We're going to talk about this Phoenix Suns team and what they could do against the Clippers. Did you by chance see their pace that they're playing with as you look through the top 10?
I did not. All I know is that there's no Kawhi or James Harden, and Jalen Green is back, and I don't feel in an incredibly good place about this game after the injury report.
Yeah, that was a kick to the pants. So Phoenix is middle of the pack pace
Okay.
wise. They're 15th.
Where are the Clips?
The Clippers are 28th. Again,
Who's
pace doesn't
below?
necessarily correlate with wins. Like the Rockets are 29th. San
Okay.
Antonio is 27th. They're 5-1. The Rockets are 4-2. OKC's 26th. They're 8-0.
Who's
Like
30th?
I don't want people to think that the faster you play, the better you are. That's obviously not the case with the Washington Wizards being second in pace and 1-6. 30th is Boston. They're 3-5.
Yeah, and that's a wonky team.
Yeah, and they're figuring things out.
Who do we think starts this game? Beal should be good to go. So our for sure's, I think, are Bradley Beal, Ivica Zubac, Derek Jones Jr.
I will say Collins. All right, before I say Collins, I'm
It's
going to
hard though
say
because there's Dunn, Bogey, Collins, CP3, and with Kawhi and Harden out, I'm like, it could be any of these two of these guys. Like,
you would think it's going to be one of the guards and Collins, but you just
Bogey, because
don't
he's
know. Bogey has started.
that's the only reason I say it is because when
I'll lean Bogey.
right, not that I'm
I'll
like
lean
fully on board, but
Bogey Collins. So Dunn and CP3 are still coming off the bench together.
yeah, that leaves the bench so small though.
It'll be them.
I mean, we're out two main
Brooke.
guys. Yeah, I guess
I mean,
that's
they're gonna stagger some of this. And the Suns are without their number one defender, Dylan the Villain's out.
I think so. He's missed their last 5 games. Let me look up their
Did he get hurt against the Clippers actually? Was it?
yes.
Yeah, he didn't play last night in their loss to the Golden State Warriors 118-107 up in San Francisco. So they had Royce O'Neal.
Yep. Suns injury report versus Clippers. Jalen Green probable. Dylan Brooks core muscle strain out. That's got.
They had last night Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, Mark Williams, Grayson Allen, Devin Booker. So if Jalen Green's starting, he could start for Grayson Allen. He could start for Ryan Dunn. Maybe Royce O'Neal. I don't think Grayson Allen was starting earlier in the season.
I don't think he was either.
That was Dylan's spot.
Because I made
so
a joke
that could be Jalen Green's spot.
Yeah.
Either way, so it's Jalen Green's first game.
Right.
Is he going to be on minutes restriction to possibly match the Bradley Beal minutes restriction?
Which is like 20 now. Maybe it goes up tomorrow, but
yeah,
like 20.
It's been 20. They could really use it to be extended, but coach lose stress. We're going to bring him along slowly. I get it. Like, first of all, when we came into the season, a lot of us were saying, hey, I like this. They have a point of attack defender in Derek Jones Jr. out there to keep that identity. I'm all for that. And the theory and idea of Bradley Beal raising their ceiling versus what they had last year is only going to happen if he's doing it and fitting in with the starters and playing his brand of basketball. Like, they have to make that fit. And that's how you get the highest ceiling and peak with this team, probably. So I get why they're chasing that.
You have to.
That it makes sense. Are you going to take your lumps along the way right now with him in and out and on a minutes restriction? They're 3-4.
As I'm getting punched in the face.
And I'm not saying that's the only reason. And it's not like Bradley Beal is not accountable for how many turnovers did Tomer just post?
176.
176?
126, excuse me. I was 50
126.
Feels like 176.
Like, to act like it's one issue or one guy is going to solve this when so many guys are not on the same page right now, that's overly simplistic. So I'm not trying to put this on that's the Bradley Beal piece, and they can't make it fit. And if they just had him healthy, or if they had somebody else in there, this Clippers team is firing on all cylinders. That's not it, because we've seen all types of different lineups, and they're all turning the ball over.
Right. Like the personnel switch is not, it's horrible right now. We did Harden and Kawhi combined for 57 when we played the Suns earlier this year and absolutely smoked them, but they won't be there. One thing I'm looking for from this game, if there was a game for Ivica Zubac to really put his stamp on the beginning of the season, 20-10 in this Suns game would feel phenomenal and is doable.
It's overdue with the Ivica
Yeah.
Zubac having this performance and being featured. Now, not having James Harden to help get him the basketball is a problem. But, him and Bogey have had a connection going back to when Bogey came in last season a little bit, and Bogey found him last night for a nice feed. That could be another reason that he's starting in this ball game. But hey, it could be CB3. I have no idea. Who knows? But they're going to have to find ways. Batum could be big also. He makes great entry passes.
Yeah.
They have to get him involved, or you're going to lose the game. Like, you're not going to win this game probably if Ivica Zubac doesn't have a 2010 type of night.
And Beal probably has to have 22, right?
If he's only playing 20 minutes.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. He has to be efficient and impactful when he's out there, for however many minutes.
I like that.
And he's playing his former team, and they're probably going to boo the hell out of him. They will.
Do you think they
going
boo
back
Chris
to Phoenix?
Paul?
I don't think so.
He went to the finals with him.
It won't be majority boos if there are boos.
And there's been a franchise in between,
Yeah. He's already come back. He's already returned. And reportedly, it was between them and the Clippers this past summer. So it seemed like he was on good terms with them.
Yeah. I don't know. Phoenix sucks. All of Phoenix sucks. Got to control the turnovers with this one. The Suns averaged the third most per game in the league from when I made this breakdown. So if
the Clippers fourth most,
I think we're the most. So if we can just, I guess, take advantage of their inevitable maybe turnovers, and we don't turn it over 19 times in this game, I would like our chances more.
Phoenix is fifth in steals at about 10 per game. The Clippers are third in 10.3. So what you're asking for is reasonable.
Always reasonable asks here. The other one is
win the turnover battle.
Even by one. Don't even blow them out in the turnover battle. Let's just win it. Let's win it by the smallest of margins. The other one in this one, free throws. The Suns do not take a lot of free throws. They're like third to last in free throw attempts per game. And defending without fouling has kind of been an issue for the Clippers. So I'm hoping we don't give them more than what they're used to at the line.
Can we go over the starting lineup one more time?
Ours or the Suns?
The Clippers.
So for sure's, what I put for sure is Bradley Beal, Ivica Zubac, Derrick Jones Jr. Because I think Derrick Jones Jr. is kind of seen as the Bradley Beal, he's a starter for us piece right now.
I wonder.
Throw Lopez in there? Play the Twin Towers?
I was actually thinking, would they go smaller with Bogey and Dunn? So Dunn and DJ could guard. Because they're not that big, Phoenix. So they could have guys to guard Booker and Jalen
he's a
Green.
Big point, right? Like Booker's effectively.
He's averaging 31 per game. If you have CP3 or Bogey out there to start, he's going to be hunting them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tough spot when you have two starters out. Hot take. It's difficult to make that up.
They're two best players, yeah.
Because I was thinking 3-guard too. Like I was like, well, if you have Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. out there, that's phenomenal for the defense with Zoo, right? You have levels of great defense there.
They
I
need
don't
at
think
least 2 ball handlers.
right, and I don't think they'll start Collins. I love John Collins. This is not a knock on him. I'm not saying he won't start at some point, but they've made it clear that, like, I think through their rotation so far that Collins is a bench guy right now, which is not bad. He's been phenomenal for this team.
I also would point out, like, I see some of what the coaching staff mentioned when Law Murray said that he heard that Collins was a little bit behind with where they wanted him to be with
within the
picking up
system, I can
the
totally
offense.
yeah.
I think he had 5 turnovers last night. Like,
Yeah. Transition, hustle
for a
stuff.
guy that doesn't handle the ball much, yes. He had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So for everyone that's just looking at, hey, he had 17 points in 25 minutes, he had 5 of their 19 turnovers, and he's not a ball handler.
I think Van Gundy told him to turn it over 5 times.
Is that right?
I think that's
so
where
he's just executing the game plan.
He's just executing the game plan.
We'll see that on tape in Tomer's mix.
Yeah. Van Gundy's going, turn it over. That's a great point about Collins's turnovers because, again, phenomenal hustle guy. We need him in transition. But yeah, the turnover's not ideal. Lopez have to play because if Zoo gets featured heavy, I don't know, man. Like, this is going to be a interesting. I hope for the Clippers' sake that this is a slog of a game. This cannot get out and run. If this is a get out and run game, I don't like that at all. We're down 2 guys anyway. I don't care which 2 guys we're down. You're down 2 regular rotation guys, and you put this Clippers team on the track. That's tough.
No, they're not equipped for that type of basketball, especially right now with the guys who are going to be out. We need them. We need them to execute their offense to hit shots so they can set their defense. And they can do that in the half court when they're not turning it over. But again, it's going to be when the system is not there and James Harden, who creates the best looks for this Clippers team, even that is going to be difficult. Just getting good shots. So Zoo is going to have to be fed early and often, and he's going to have to demand the ball, and he's going to have to be aggressive and play to his size.
And finish.
And really get in his bag.
Yeah.
It can't be like last game where they tried to get him going in the third quarter. It's got to be 3 of the first 5 possessions he's touching the basketball on the block.
We got to see that. They had a play they dropped a couple years ago where it was like, we're getting Zoo the first bucket. That's what we got to see. We saw it for Marcus Morris back in the day. We've seen it for guys before, but we know that there's one for Big Zoo. Let him shoulder some of that.
And it's Mark Williams. It's Nick Richards is their big man. The guy out of Duke that they drafted, he hasn't played he had a DNP last time out.
Malik or whatever?
Yeah, tough to pronounce the name. But he was the 10th pick in the draft.
People really like him. I've seen Suns fans be like, where is he?
Everybody is mad at their coach for something, no matter who your coach is. Heat fans are mad at this.
City shouldn't exist. The only reason it exists is because air conditioning was invented. Okay. Any other notes before we do our player of the game pick, which everyone is on the table for, by the way? When there's 2 starters out, anyone can be player of the game. Do you have any other notes before our most important player of the game? Because everyone knows the 8th game of the season is where shit gets figured out.
Yeah, don't let Devin Booker go for 70. It has happened.
Agreed.
Although they lost that game, so if he goes for 70 and the Clippers still win, I'm fine with
70. Yeah. Were they at home too? I don't know. I will say
I think it was a road game in Boston.
When people were discrediting the 70, I was like, it's still 70 points. Still pretty sick.
It was like his second season too. They all took a team picture afterwards. It's pretty historic.
Super young. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, who is your player of the game for the Clippers? We do not pick for the opposing team.
Since you're asking me first, I gotta go Big Zoo.
Gotta go Big Zoo.
I just don't know how they win this game if he's not giving you 20, 12, couple blocks,
We were good on the
hitting
boards
his
against the
free
Thunder,
throws.
like we were the first half of the Thunder, we were setting good screens, we were dominating the boards. Like
They also were missing a lot. So some of the
yes, that is
defensive
true.
rebounds were like, oh, yeah, they're missing.
I hope you grab that. Yeah, Zoo's a good pick. I think I gotta go. I know that Bradley Beal is on a minutes restriction. I agree that he needs to be efficient. I'm going Derek Jones Jr. He's going to be called on to do more defensively, I think. And if he can put up 20 efficiently, like you mentioned about the OKC game, right? We needed someone else to put in that work for the group project, and we didn't really get it. I think Derek Jones Jr. can be that guy. I don't know who's doing the heavy lifting. It's going to go Zoo, Derek Jones Jr., and then like Bradley Beal, hopefully with an efficient 24. That's a lot now that I say it.
This is an opportunity for him to get a green light and not have to worry about deferring to James or to Kawhi Leonard or just trying to fit in type of thing. No, you be aggressive. You're going up against your former team. There's probably some bad blood there. Go get him.
Yeah, go get him.
It's also Derek Jones's former team too, and he said after their first win over Phoenix this season that there was a little something more to it.
Who is Will picking? Bogey?
Bogey or CP3?
Let's go CP3. We'll pick CP3 officially.
Officially.
Let the record show. We should have a stenographer. We should for every pod who's taking notes for this.
Eric's on it.
Yeah. All right. That wraps things up. We're going to do a happy hour, hopefully happy hour stream at 5 p.m. on Friday at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. We'll put the audio out too. Again, could be sad hour depending what happens. But we'll talk about the game against the Suns. Probably a full pod on Sunday to talk the upcoming Clippers games. And reviews help. You can review us at Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, wherever you're getting your podcasts. We always appreciate the reviews. Adam, 7 games in, people are feeling down. We need one positive thing for these Clippers fans.
If you're forcing me to.
Contractually.
They started 3-4 last year. They still won 50 games. I think it's pretty simple.
Hard
They
stop.
didn't have Kawhi to start off last season, but healthy. Anyways, there it is. There it is.
We're
Extreme
hyped
positivity.
Extreme positivity. I love that extreme positivity is they were 3-4 last year. Let us know how you're feeling at Clippers Pod. I am at Chuck Mockler on Twitter. He is follow Adam A. Listen to him on the radio. Be nice to him in the chat on Clippers Talk. And we'll see y'all on Friday. Here is to a win tomorrow against the Suns. And as always, let's go Clips.